Welcome to the deep dive. We take sources you send us, pull out the key insights, basically a shortcut to getting up to speed.
Yeah, makes it easier to digest complex stuff.
Exactly. So today we're getting into the Zentangle Method.
Yeah.
Specifically, their whole philosophy that there are no mistakes.
Mm-hmm. And we're basing this on a text that really explains that core idea.
It's a fascinating concept, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, most of us think of mistakes as, well, mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
especially in art or anything needing precision.
Right, or where there's clearly a right way and a wrong way. That's what we're used to.
Totally. I bet a lot of you listening had the same reaction I did, like, no mistakes. How, when you're trying so hard to get a pattern just right and your pen does its own thing.
Yeah, that little internal arc.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
So let's really dig into what they actually mean by no mistakes in Zentangle.
Okay, yeah. So the text starts by talking about a perspective shift. It's fundamental.
A shift. How so?
Well, instead of calling those deviations errors or mistakes, they call them unexpected strokes.
Unexpected strokes.
Okay. And they stress this isn't just playing with words. It's a deliberate reframing. It's about changing how you interpret the situation.
Huh. Like telling yourself a different story about what just happened on the paper?
Pretty much. It's about moving away from needing perfection, towards seeing it as part of the learning, the growth.
That's interesting. Giving yourself permission to see it differently. And the source mentions the forgiving nature of Zentangle.
Yes, that's key. It's designed, apparently, to lower the anxiety about the outcome.
Which sounds pretty good, honestly. A break from all the usual pressure.
Definitely. And a big part of how it does that is because it's abstract, right? It's non-representational.
Meaning you're not trying to draw a specific thing, like a house or a face.
Exactly. So the usual idea of getting a line wrong because it doesn't look like the thing you're drawing, well, that kind of disappears. It becomes more subjective.
Right. If you're not aiming for a perfect circle, then a slightly wobbly line isn't technically wrong. It's just wobbly.
Precisely. The focus shifts to the process, the enjoyment of just drawing.
And the text says we should go further than just accepting these unexpected strokes. It says we should actively embrace them.
Embrace them as opportunities, seeds for creative growth, possibilities for discovery.
Okay, so not just oops, oh well, but what can I do with this?
Exactly that mindset. Being open to where those unplanned lines might take you.
Which brings us to that great story in the text about Molly Hollabaugh.
Ah, yes, the Munchin pattern.
Right, how she was drawing one pattern. Paradox, I think.
Yep, paradox. It's got these sort of overlapping curved lines.
And she made what she thought was a mistake
And
ended up creating a whole new pattern from it, Munchin.
it's such a perfect example, isn't it? It shows that philosophy and action, that perceived mistake, wasn't an endpoint. It was a starting point for something new.
It really drives home the idea. Okay, so the text gives some solid reasons why this no mistakes thing is so central to Zentangle. The first one is it's unplanned.
Yeah, that's a big one. The logic is, if you start without a specific picture in your head, without a detailed plan,
Then there's nothing to deviate from. You can't get it wrong if there wasn't a predefined right to begin with. Makes sense.
exactly.
And the second reason, we sort of touched on this, is that it's abstract art.
Right, which, as you said, avoids that direct comparison. If I'm drawing abstract shapes and lines, who's to say one line is wrong?
Unlike trying to draw, your cat and it ends up looking like a potato, you can tell that's not quite right.
Precisely. The definition of mistake is much clearer in representational art.
Then the third point is that the method itself encourages you to, creatively respond to the unexpected.
Yeah, it's not just tolerating surprises, it's actively welcoming them. It's building that creative confidence to just roll with it.
Which ties into the next point, doesn't it? About the word mistake itself.
The negative baggage it carries.
Right. From school, tests, red marks, that feeling of getting the answer wrong.
Zentangle wants to disconnect from that. There are no set, correct answers you're trying to achieve in the same way.
So using the word mistake brings in all that negativity that doesn't really fit the Zentangle experience.
Exactly. And the final reason they give is, well, the main goal.
Which is?
The joy of drawing, the process, the mindfulness. It's not about producing a technically perfect pattern every single time.
It's the experience, not just the output. Okay, I think I'm getting the philosophy now. But practically speaking, when you're drawing and the pen does go somewhere weird, What do you actually do?
Well, the text offers some really useful concrete tips for that moment.
Good. Let's hear them.
Okay, first one, just slow down.
Slow down. Seems simple, maybe too simple.
Well, think about it. When you rush, that's often when you feel less in control, right? When those unintended strokes happen.
True. You're trying to get out of yourself.
So slowing down helps you be more deliberate. And as the text points out, it helps build muscle memory for the strokes, especially if you're starting out.
Okay, yeah. And maybe helps you appreciate the actual drawing more instead of just focusing on the end result. Less comparing your work to others too soon.
Exactly. Enjoy the journey of each line.
All right, tip 1. Slow down. What's next?
Tip 2. Create something new from it.
Ooh, I like that. So don't stop, don't try to fix it immediately, but see where that unexpected stroke could lead.
Yes. Follow it. Explore it. Maybe it turns into a variation you didn't expect or even suggests a completely new tangle.
So it's like improvising instead of just playing the notes written on the page.
That's a great analogy. You're moving from just executing the steps to actually creating with the steps, responding to what's happening live.
Cool. Okay. What else?
Third tip, enhance it.
Enhance the mistake.
Oh, the unexpected stroke. Yeah, the idea is to add something to it or around it.
Like what?
Simple things like adding little black dots or pearls, maybe thickening the line or adding aura lines around it. Things that integrate it, make it look intentional.
So you're not hiding it, but sort of.
Yeah.
Incorporating it deliberately into the design.
Exactly. You're building upon it, transforming its look. Sometimes those little additions can completely change how that area feels.
Okay, interesting. So slow down, create something new, enhance it. What's number 4?
Dramatize the tile. This one's quite bold.
Dramatize. Sounds exciting.
It involves filling an area around the unexpected part with solid black ink.
Ah.
And then you can even go back over that black with a white gel pen, drawing new patterns on top.
Yeah. That would definitely create contrast. It makes the mistake area into a feature, almost.
Precisely. It's a strong visual statement. It draws the eye, adds depth, and completely reframes that initial mark.
Okay, that's a powerful option. What is after dramatizing?
Simply embrace it.
Just accept it.
Well, yes, but also actively look at it. The text gives an example of drawing a pattern like wooden planks, a board-like pattern, and accidentally missing one of the lines between the planks.
Okay, I can picture that. Leaving an awkward double-wide plank.
Right. But instead of trying to squeeze the line in later, the suggestion is to notice that empty space, that negative space, and then maybe fill that space with a different tiny pattern or color it differently. Make that unique space a feature.
Ah, so you embrace the outcome, see the potential in the supposed mistake, and work with it.
That's the core of it, really. Pausing, looking without judgment, and seeing the possibility. That mistake becomes a favorite, unique part of the piece.
I like that. Okay, is there one more?
There is. The final tip is to add a Bronx cheer.
A Bronx cheer. What on earth is that?
It's actually the name of a specific Zentangle pattern. Apparently, it's quite versatile, kind of looks like radiating ripples or scallops.
Oh, okay.
And the point is, it's great for covering up an area you're not happy with, but it still looks good. It looks intentional, like part of the design.
So it's like a fun, decorative way to just go over something.
Pretty much. A playful fix. You can even use it deliberately just for contrast, not only for covering things up.
That's brilliant. A get-out-of-jail-free card, Tangle style.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
It adds texture and interest.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up for everyone listening. The big takeaway seems to be, in Zentangle, things that feel like mistakes aren't failures.
Right. They're more like creative challenges, invitations to respond differently.
To engage your creativity and see what happens.
Exactly. And it all comes back to that really powerful question you can ask yourself when something unexpected happens on the tile.
What can I do with this?
Yes. Just pausing, taking a breath, and asking. That shifts everything, doesn't it?
It really does. From frustration to possibility.
And knowing you have these options, enhance, dramatize, embrace, Bronx cheer, whatever, it makes the whole process feel safer, more encouraging.
Builds that self-compassion the text mentions. You're not beating yourself up.
Which ties into that really lovely analogy they shared, too.
Oh, yeah, the one about erasers.
There are no erasers in life.
All we can do is begin again and respond to what's there.
It's quite profound when you think about it in that context.
It really is.
Yeah.
So maybe the final thought for you listening is, how could this no mistakes idea, this Zentangle way of thinking, how could that apply elsewhere?
Beyond the drawing tile.
Yeah. Could you maybe look at unexpected events or, I don't know, challenges in your own life, not just as setbacks?
But as perhaps opportunities. for your own kind of creative response, for growth, for transformation.
Definitely something to think about.